And now, after years of planning, sweating, and going broke, here is the Boots and Whiskey Podcast with Jim Belisle.
I'll alert the media.
Why they would give this man a podcast is anyone's guess.
Then there is what could only be a bizarre coincidence or something else.
Welcome to the Boots and Whiskey Podcast with Jim Belisle.
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
Country music and fine moonshine. Finally, a podcast that lets it all hang out.
Let's level with America.
Got your boots? Ready for some whiskey?
These boots are made for walking.
One of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you.
And now, the Boots and Whiskey Podcast with Jim Belisle.
Hey everyone, Jim here, Boots and Whiskey Podcast. Thank you all so much for tuning in today. And if it's your first time here, let's go over some things. You're in for a ride, man. I'm telling you right now. We do things a little unconventional here. I say unconventional like it's a bad thing. It's not. We don't do things the way other shows do it. There's no script. There's no pre-planned questions. There's no nothing, right? Or as I like to call it, or as I like to say, rather, is a very warm welcome to the shit show, because we just do it as we want to do it here. So thank you for being here. It's a pleasure to have you. We have Jake Banfield here on the show. If I said Jake's last name wrong, it wouldn't be a surprise, right? And if you're new to this show, you're gonna be like, what is going on with this dude? But that's just par for the course. For those of you that aren't new here, you're like typical Jim, right? It's fine. We're fine. We're all fine. But Jake's here. Jake's got some cool shit going on. He's going to Australia next year, beginning of next year, to do some shows, do a little tour. We talk about that. We talk about basketball. We talk about all kinds of stuff. Just welcome. Sit back, relax, chill. And yeah, that's it. Let's see what else. What else we got going on? Not much. Haven't been to a show in a while. The last show last show I went to was Liam St. John, who was on the podcast last week. Yeah. We don't have shows coming until not this coming weekend, the following weekend. We'll have Ghost Hounds and the final Dalton and the Sheriff show. And then we have Whiskey Myers at the Orpheum, I think. Yeah, in Boston. So we got a lot of stuff coming up. Yeah, I'm super excited for all those shows. So sit back, relax, enjoy. Hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. For those of you that celebrated, for those of you that don't, hope you had a nice week. That's it. Sit back, relax. Jake, thanks again for being here, and we hope you enjoy the show. Cheers. But we're gonna fuck around and find out. We're just gonna shoot the shit, and we're gonna just hang out, man. But
I'm in, brother. I'm in.
I thank you for taking the time and coming on.
No, thanks for having me, man. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So I was looking at your stuff, listening to your stuff, and it's great.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, man. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, right? And I'm like, we're a little too honest here. It's not something I would go out looking for, but I like it.
Thank you so much. Yeah. It's definitely, I think, in a humble way, I would say it's unique. It's like it's different. So thanks for listening.
No, absolutely. Yeah. It was like, I've heard some things. I'd heard some things before. Like, I'm a sucker for that. I'm a sucker for sad country music, right?
Oh yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
Real bad, right? And it's like,
yeah.
And over the last few months, like, I've tried to like get myself out of the overly sad shit and like, try to give myself a little pep talk. And
right.
Your stuff does that, and this new album is top to bottom, like, it's great.
Thank you so much. No, I feel like that's kind of the whole project, and that's the story of my life. I love sad country music too.
Yeah.
So throughout the whole project, it's like a lot of uplifting, like happy vibes, but there's also that middle ground, and then there's some sad stuff. So I think it's just the wave of life. So I was just trying to put that all into one little thing, and yeah, it's I loved how it turned out. So thank you again for listening.
Now I gotta ask, because it's like, and like, listen, I'm from New England. I live in Massachusetts. So
Nice.
I have kind of, I have a lot of friends that live in Texas, Oklahoma, the whole
Yeah.
red dirt soon, the whole 9 yards. But then I
Yeah.
hear your stuff, and how does
Yeah.
a kid from Oklahoma get that sound? How do you go
It's
from, like you
yeah.
have like a little bit of a hip hop, like,
Yeah.
like feel to it, and like,
Yeah.
listen, I am the most naive person when it comes to things outside of New England, right?
Right.
But like,
No.
you don't think, like Oklahoma City, Tulsa, and think like,
No.
oh, a big hip hop scene.
Right. No. 100%. That it was all really. My whole life growing up, I was an athlete. I was not a musician. So
Okay.
I was on the football field or on the basketball court, and in my ears was hip hop music the majority of the time. Whenever I was getting ready for games or during practice or on the bus or whatever the case may be. So I grew up on hip hop music and country music at the same time. So whenever like I got hurt in college playing college ball and fell into music, and that's whenever I didn't know what I was doing. So whenever I just started recording and writing, there was a inspiration of like country music and my roots, but then there
Yeah.
was a lot of hip hop pop melodies that came out because I grew up listening to that. So that's how, because I think most people probably did not grow up listening to it, but I legitimately did. It was in my ears early, along with country music, and so it kind of just came out naturally, organically, and we just let it roll. Yeah,
And I only laugh because it's like, I'm pushing 40, and it makes me throw up to say that. But like when I was growing up, like I talk about it here all the time. Like country music was never a thing. Like never.
yeah,
Like when I was growing up, like you didn't come to New England expecting any sort of country music anything, right?
interesting. Yeah,
But as a kid, it was Biggie, it was Tupac, it was
right.
it was Eminem. Like I'm old enough to remember when Eminem came out, and it was like
Yeah,
the greatest thing since sliced bread, right?
literally. Yeah,
And it just for me, it's funny because it's like I had all those things,
yeah,
and now here I am, right? When it comes
yeah.
to musical taste, and like you're
Interesting.
you're you're a young gun, man. Like, so were you?
Yeah.
Do you listen to like what I would consider the real stuff, like the '90s stuff, the early
Yeah.
2000s, or is it all this new shit that nobody knows what the fuck it is?
I have Biggie and Tupac hung up right here,
All right,
in my room. I have Drake. I grew up on Warren G. I grew up on Snoop. I
all
grew
right,
up on it was literally all that. The '90s, West Coast, East Coast was big, and then in 2000s I got really, really into it with like Eminem, like you said, and Dre and Wayne and Drake. And like so, I am a huge fan of hip hop, and
yeah.
so yeah, that was a big like I mean I dug from it because that's what I listen to all the time. So yeah, I grew up on the real stuff. I don't really listen anymore, to be honest, like actually at all. If I do, I'm listening to stuff I grew up listening to. So it's a lot of country now, but
Yeah.
I still got a place in my heart for the hip hop music for sure.
Now, when you're growing up, right? Where I mean, obviously, living in Oklahoma, it's kind of like you can't throw a stone without hitting country music, right?
Right.
But like, who are
Exactly.
you listening to? Like, are you listening to the stuff that's like on the the big radio, or is it all
Yes.
like red dirt kind of stuff?
That, it's exactly it was the country radio. So one of the first memories I ever have, I was about 6 years old. I grew up in McIntosh County, which is the same county as Carrie Underwood. She's from
Okay.
Shakota. I was from Eufaula. So I did not know that at the time. I was a little kid, but I hear Jesus Take the Wheel on the radio on the way back from school or something, and I'm just like, wow. I mean, this melody is crazy. This sounds insane. Who is this? And I remember my parents going like, "This is Carrie Underwood. She was on American Idol. She's from Shakota, like 12 minutes away." And I remember from a young age being like, whoa, like she is from where, I mean, she made it.
Right.
That was huge. So I grew up on, it was a lot of that. And then I remember Garth playing all the time on the radio, and Blake Shelton was always playing. Toby Keith was always playing on the radio. So I remember that the majority was in the summertime. We'd always have the radio on, and they would be playing. So kind of just was organically, like you said, just throw a stone, hit country music. It was
Yeah.
always playing. So whenever I wasn't on the court or on the field, I was like, that was in my ears. So,
Yeah.
yeah. And then I've really, to be honest, the red dirt was not really, I was not introduced to that until like, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago. And I
Yeah.
was like, whoa, this is amazing. This is
Yeah.
it's a different style.
It
So,
is.
I love that too, but I grew up on like the country radio type vibe.
Isn't it funny though? Like, I mean, and I'm sure you see it being in the industry where, that's those sort of bands like the Turnpikes of the world and so on
Yep,
and so forth are finally getting some, you know, major recognition, right? And then
100%.
coming from an area where they already had huge success and playing in big places and all that, and then they get
Right.
outside of that, and it's wild to me how much tougher it is.
Couldn't agree more.
You
No,
know,
it's insane to see. Like, it's a perfect example. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, they're massive.
right?
And that's what's interesting. Like, I guess I didn't really know how big of an impact Stillwater had on that type of music, but it does. And like,
Yeah,
I just went to Calf Fry, which is a huge red dirt festival every summer. I just got to go for the first time this last summer, and it was like incredible. There were so many talented people, a lot of Oklahoma artists, and you're like, wow. I mean, there is a lot of talent here, and people just probably don't know. But yeah, I'm proud to be from here. I mean, there's a lot of different types of music too, so
right.
I think that's super. Yeah.
Now, when you decided, well, I guess when fate decided that you weren't going to play ball anymore, and
Yeah.
you and you got into this, like, was music or writing songs, was that something you had dabbled with prior to it? Like, even just, jotting things down here and there, or was it not even a thought?
No, like I grew up in church singing. I would help like once a month, and that was like as a kid. So I knew I had a little bit of a voice. I knew I could like had a melody. I could figure out music. Never was gonna do it though, literally ever. And then yeah, we got sent into quarantine. And that's really where I dove in. I didn't know there were like songwriting sessions, and I didn't know
Yeah,
how to songwrite or record. So I found it out right there. And how it started was I was in I mean, a lot of people were. I was in a really dark spot. That was the first time I had to be by myself and deal with my emotions, what was going on. So what I did, like I said, I don't know how to songwrite, but I just put on the paper what I was feeling and put it out in front of people because that was my way of venting, like getting it off. And so yeah, that's what I did, and people related, and that's how it started. Once I saw people go like, "Whoa, I really relate to this. This is helping me." I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna keep doing this." So yeah, that's where it started. I had no plans, never did it, and I just know growing up, like I always was making noise. Like I would always get in trouble, whether it was pen tapping or singing. So I knew I was just like I loved music, but it was just a hobby. It was just what everyone else. It was just something I listened to. So yeah, God had a different plan. So I really dove into it during quarantine. So I'm about
yeah.
5 years in.
So, at what moment was it that you were putting things together and doing stuff, and either yourself or someone came to you and was like, "Dude, you got something here"?
Yeah, it was honestly very quickly into quarantine when I started. And like I said, one of the songs that popped off, it's called Hold Me. It is raw and vulnerable
Yeah,
and
yeah.
not the best written song, but it's like super real. And it took off on social media, and people were just saying, "Whoa, I feel this same way. This guy's saying what I'm feeling. I don't know how to say it." So that's when it was. I mean, I'm talking May. I think we got sent into the house in March, so it was like Mayish, and we're getting reached out. I was getting reached out by record labels, and I had no manager, no lawyer, didn't know anybody, and so I ended up signing a management deal in Los Angeles, and that's where the songwriting start. Really, like I started figuring out what it was because I got to
Yeah,
be in the room with other people on Zoom, and that's where it started once I signed my management contract. And yeah, it was a blessing. But that's exactly when it was. Yeah,
that's wild. It's crazy
it's
how
crazy
it is crazy. It's crazy how you can go from not doing something at all to
at all.
now this is what you're doing,
Yeah, no, it was 20 years legitimately of only sports. Like that
right?
was and I was going to do that the rest of my life. Like even if I didn't go play professionally, I was going to go be a teacher and a coach. That's what all my family is. So I'm like, this is perfect. This is a dream. I love it. And yeah, it just so happened that was not not the plan. So
Right.
yeah, it was definitely scary, but it's been amazing. It's taken some faith, which has been good though. It's
Yeah.
good to be uncomfortable sometimes.
If you don't mind, I want to dig into some of your sports background because we don't get a lot of that
Yeah.
here. Like we don't get a lot of people
Oh
that have
yeah.
played like being in New England, like sports around here is everything. Like I like
Oh,
some
it's
of it.
huge.
I'm a big baseball guy, but like the rest of it,
Love it.
I never got into the Celtics all too much. Like I love the Bruins. I
Oh
love
man.
when it
Yeah.
comes to like pro football, I don't give a shit. But like So for you in your career as a college athlete, like what did that look like to you? Like what is that life like?
Yeah, it's very scheduled. It's very
Yeah,
schedule oriented. It takes a lot of discipline because it's tough. It's tough mentally, especially balancing it with school. Now, I'm not to say that people have it much harder, but I'm just saying, I mean, it is very like wake up at 6 a.m. It's time to do lifting. We're going to lift and then we're going to eat breakfast, or we're going to eat breakfast, then lift. And then we're going to go into a shooting workout, right? And then we're going to go shower, and then we're going to go to class. We have class. And then once class is over, we're going to come do homework or be in the library. And then we got to go to practice, actual practice, have that. And then we go to lunch. And then we would go back and have like another practice and film. And then go back and do homework, go to sleep, do it again. So it's very structured and very it takes a lot of discipline. So that to say, whenever I get put into the music industry, kind of out of nowhere, all I knew was that.
right,
So I just applied that to the music side of, okay, how can I get better at songwriting? How do I show up to be better vocally? How do I find my sound? Who's good? Who's doing great social wise? Who's doing what kind of music is this? Just all that, putting it all there, and then keep showing up. That was
right,
the point in basketball. It's like you just got to go to practice and get shots up. You got to get shots up after. You got to go perform, play games. I just tied it into that, and it really has helped a lot. It's kind of been a really easy transition because there's a lot of similarities, especially when it comes to like the teamwork side of it,
oh
like when
yeah,
we're writing a song together with people, or how it takes a village to have a concert, make it happen. And so it's pretty similar, but just from the college standpoint, it was just super man, it was difficult to be honest, balancing school and sports, but it was a blessing. It taught me a lot of things that I'm going to use the rest of my life and teach to my kids one day. And so it's a blessing, honestly.
yeah. I can't. It's got to be much easy. I don't want to say much easier. Obviously, I don't know, but having that structure, coming from that structure, and putting it to this has to make life so much easier.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, obviously, I think first would be the teammate aspect. I've always had teammates. So that was big coming in to rooms with other people. I'm all about teamwork. I know people that kind of want to do it by themselves, which is fine. And
Yeah,
I think the other thing is I'm coachable. I've been disciplined my whole life. How to get better, I listen to coaches. So I'm not going in there like, yeah, I know I'm the new, I'm the new guy. I'm gonna make it happen. I'm popping on
right,
socials, whatever.
right, right,
No, I'm
right,
like, I need to learn. I am
right,
behind. I need to be a sponge and figure out how to get better. So those two things really tied in, and then the discipline side where you're showing up and we got to. If we want to get better, we got to show up.
right,
So there's a lot of things that tie it in. I'm grateful forever for that.
right. And just I mean, from the sounds of it and the conversation, it's obvious you don't have much of a personality, so that's really hard to deal with too. you know.
That's great. I almost spit up my water. No, that's funny.
But I mean, honestly, that's also part of it too. Like if you're an
Yeah,
asshole, nobody's gonna want to work with you anyway.
yeah,
And
that's 100% truth. No, exactly.
you know, and
And
I,
it ties into the teamwork side of it. Yeah,
right, right, right. Now, let me ask you this, right? Because I love college football, right? Like that is to
yeah,
me.
me too.
But you see, every now and again, you see stories about college athletes that kind of go. I don't want to say go awry, right? But based
Yeah.
on that schedule, how the hell does that even happen? How does a college athlete just kind of you hear it every now and again where they just go off the rails? Like how does that happen? Is there just too much pressure?
I think there's multiple things. Everyone's different. I think there's a lot of pressure. I think the balancing aspect, there's a lot of stress that goes with that.
Yeah,
And then, whenever you're done playing, it's an identity crisis because you don't know you've done this your whole life. So you're like,
right,
okay, now what? And that's where people tend to, from my experience, where it's like, all right, what am I? I'm not a basketball player anymore. And so you have to find what you are, what else you're good at. And that's scary because
right,
you've put so much time into this craft. I feel like that's where a lot of people kind of find dark paths because they
yeah,
don't know where to go.
right,
So thank God for music because I would have been, I mean, I was going to teach and coach, but that was scary, whenever basketball is gone. Like your sport, you're like, I don't really know. So, yeah, it's tough, but I think a lot of it is stress based as well.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pressure, so I think so. Yeah,
Now, when you're being recruited for a school or whatever, however it goes, right? Do they? I'm sure it's a lot like the music industry, where, or maybe it's not. And I'm totally talking out of my ass,
oh
but
yeah,
is there a lot of like, hey, if you come here, you have this shot at going to the NBA, or if you come here, are those conversations
yeah,
being had? And I mean, because I mean, anybody
yeah,
that pays attention to the music industry knows that there's a lot of, there's a lot of back behind the scenes stuff that, I mean, nobody's really
yeah. It's
talking about.
very similar in that way. Yeah, it's a pitch. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're gonna pitch something to you, what they can do to help you, and
right,
you just kind of gotta trust them or don't.
right,
And the person that you trust the most, that feels the most genuine, like a coach, you're gonna commit to, recruit to, or commit and go to that school. So again, that ties in. I had that because went through the
right,
recruiting process where it's like some of these guys are just blowing smoke up your ass. Like they
right,
really are not like they want you for whatever reason, but there's a guy that's better than you, whatever. And so you really got to take it with a grain of salt, honestly, and just like I find out who's genuine. I can tell
right.
pretty quickly, like if this guy's legit, if this girl's legit, do they really want me? Can they help me? Or do they just want to put me on a shelf? You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And
Yeah,
not let anybody else have me.
right.
So it's very similar to recruiting. That's a great point by you. I've never actually thought about it, but it's so similar.
Yeah, and it's like from my side of it, right? Like we deal with everybody. I've dealt with everybody, from good PR teams to bad PR teams to in the middle,
Yeah,
right? And I always I always love to give credit to the people that are behind the scenes. And I know a lot of the
yeah,
reasons why they're behind the scenes is because that's where they want to be, but they don't get enough credit. Like
yeah.
and I'm not just saying that because some people may be listening, but like your team has been,
Yeah.
you've built a great team around you.
Thank you. No, it's a blessing, and it took a while. It was me and my manager for like the first 4 years, which is plenty. And it was amazing. But it got to a point where we're like, we need more help. We need a bigger team. And
Right.
so that's it's been a blessing because we met with multiple people and people were great, but we made the right choice because
Yeah.
it's very, very helpful, very genuine, good team on top of it. And I haven't always had that. So it's been a blessing.
Right. And there's a lot of artists that don't have that. I can't. I mean,
No.
I'm sure like I have sent there's been times I've sent emails after email after email, and it's like,
Oh,
what the fuck are you people
no.
doing? Like, are you
Yeah.
just sitting on your hands?
100%.
Like whatever it is you're doing, that's
Right.
the job I want because absolutely nothing.
Exactly. No, exactly. I'm with you. Exactly. So yeah, I'm with you. Yeah.
Now, what made you decide to, to go the Nashville route rather than, stay in Oklahoma or go to Texas or.
Yeah. So I was in LA writing pop. That's where my management team was out of, and I just needed a foot in the door. And like I said, I grew up listening to hip hop and pop music, so I was like, yeah, I mean, I'll write pop music. I don't care. I just want to figure out how to write. I don't know what I'm
Right.
doing. So did that, and I did that for 2 years, and it was fun. We got some really good stuff done. But then I told them, I grew up in a town of 17 people, Stidham, Oklahoma. So like as country as you can get. I spent my first 14 years there. So I knew that LA was not for me. And I knew Nashville was something that I wanted to explore, especially on the songwriting side. People are insane. They're so good. And I wanted to go find my sound there. So I just kind of faith over fear moved there without knowing really anybody. I knew like a couple people, and yeah, I lived there for 3 years, and it was a blessing. And then I just moved back to Oklahoma in June, so a few months ago. So I still go back out there and love it there. It's like a second home. But I'm through and through. I'm Oklahoma, and
Yeah.
it's truly home. My roots are here, and they're gonna stay here. But my time at Nashville full time was a blessing. It was incredible, and I learned so much. And like I'm going back in a couple days, and can't wait. But I just wanted to be back in my home base, and that's here. I love it here.
Now, why is that? Because it's like you hear about it all the time, right? Where people go to Nashville, spend some
Yeah,
time, and then go home. Did you
yeah.
feel like you were in a spot where you could comfortably do that and not lose much. I mean, with the internet and cell phones and all that, like I always
That's
say, I
yeah.
always tell people all the time, you don't need to be there to be successful. But like, did you feel that?
Right. Yeah, I think that's a good way to say it. Like I felt like I spent 3 years there writing a ton with a ton of different people, and I kind of felt like I found my people that I loved working with there, and I'll still write with new people, but I have people I love to work with, and it's what you said. I didn't feel the need anymore. Like I have to be here full time. I really
Right.
I and I figured that out whenever we were on the road on tour, and I had um 3 days in my bed one month, and I'm like, why am I paying high rent here, and I'm not
Right.
even here?
Right.
I was like, I'm gonna move back home with the fam. So that's what it was, and I really missed. I'm close to my family, so I really wanted to be with them when I wasn't on the road. So that's what it came down to. And then I wanted to sign a record deal, and once I did that, I told myself I would move back to Oklahoma, where it's comfortably I can live. And
Yeah.
so that's what I did. God is good, and that's exactly what happened. So that I just moved back in June, and it's been amazing.
Now with the way you do everything, like what is touring like? Like where are you going? How are you getting yourself out there? Like where's been your
Yeah,
biggest like surprise of like, holy shit, they like me
yeah,
here, and that sort of thing.
yeah. Yeah, no, it started early. With I went out with a guy named David Morris, who's one of my big brothers. He was amazing. He had us out, and he just took me out. We went to the Northeast. I didn't even have very many songs out, but I just needed to get those reps of on stage, and that helped me build early. And then it's grown. We just got back from Canada, which would be the spot I would say like they were singing back my music, and I'm like,
Wow.
whoa, that's not too far away, but it's like that's amazing. We were on the west side of Canada. I was like, this is amazing. So it would be that, and then we have a headlining tour that just got announced in Australia because we had a song go. Lasso went #1 in
Yeah.
country over there. So I'm excited to like get out there because that's the other side of the world. So
Right.
hopefully they show up and want to sing it back because that would be insane to me. So yeah, it's been we started in like some vans where we're road dogs, and then there's sometimes we get the rental car. I don't have a bus. So we figure it out, but right now we just want to get in front of people. However we can
Yeah.
get there. I don't care if we got to ride a bike. I just want to be in front of people. So yeah, that's what it is.
It's funny you bring up Australia because I've been seeing a lot of bands, especially the bands I follow pretty closely. Like everybody's going out there and having
Yeah,
having success.
yeah,
It's you know
yeah,
we make fun of Keith Urban and stuff because it's fun and then it's easy and it
yeah.
makes people click on stuff. But like you think about it
Right.
and like there really is a huge country scene out there.
Yeah. No, I had no idea. The line dance for Lasso started popping off, and then we slowly started seeing it grow over there. We were like, whoa. I mean, I didn't have any idea. And then, like you said, I saw a bunch of people going out there, and they're crazy about their music, and I was like, we have to go.
Yeah,
So I'm excited to start out there in January because it's gonna be summertime there, so we don't
yeah.
have to. I don't have to deal with the cold. So I'm excited to get out there and get it going. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah. How long are you going to be out there for?
I think we're there for like 12 days, maybe 14 days. So, somewhere around there. So it's going to be a blast. I'm pumped. I'm excited.
Yeah. Yeah. Now with this, with all the things you're doing and the success you're having and the new album just coming out, like what has been the biggest surprise for you through this whole thing?
It's a good question. I would probably say I knew that social media was very powerful with getting music out there, but I would say it would go back to the Lasso going #1 on country radio down there, like down under, and that was just through power of social media and the
Yeah.
power of a line dance really popping off and going well over the. It's just the power of like I filmed this video in Oklahoma and it connects in a large amounts with people from Australia down under. That's been a big surprise. I knew it was powerful, but to see the data and the stats and the analytics, and you're like, wow, they're truly connecting.
Right.
That's been the biggest thing to me. And then like I said, growing up in a town of 17, and now I'm about to go do a headline over there. I'm just blessed. I'm like, wow, I am grateful. And I can't believe they want me out there sometimes. So it's like, it's a blessing.
Now with this album, how
Yeah.
long did it take from start to finish?
It was 3 years.
Damn.
I started in 2022 writing it and finished it in 2025. So it's a collection of my life for 3 years, through 12 songs. And there's a lot that didn't go on that will come out. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's been a 3 year project, and we really started dialing it in about a year and a half. So like a year and a half ago, is when we were like, okay, we're truly writing for the album. So yeah, 3 years, a year and a half. It's been a whole thing. So it was a while.
Now that it's out though, do you have like this, you know, like you feel like you can breathe?
Yes. Yes, exactly. Yes, it's a weight off your shoulder. Where
Yeah.
you're like, wow, these songs have been sitting here so long, and I've been listening, and I'm tired of listening. I want other people to hear it. So that's been amazing. What a blessing. Yeah. No, I was like, dude, I've heard this song 1,000 times. It's
Right.
time for the
Right.
world to hear it. And so it's awesome. Yeah, a big weight off my shoulders. I think that's a great way to put it.
You know, I love that you said that. Like, I know what you mean by like saying like I'm sick of hearing these songs, right? Because it's like I ask people all the
Yeah.
time. It's like, do you ever get sick of playing or hearing your same songs over and over and over again? And it's like the cliche is like, no, I love all these songs, and it's like like people are so full of shit when they say
Yeah.
that, because it's like, even as a consumer, I could love a song so much, but after you hear it so many times, it's like, all right,
Bro. No, it's like, okay, this it's like having a kid and it needs to go to college. It needs to get out of the house. And you're like, I've done my job here. It's time for you to go figure it out. And that's what it felt like. And I'm the same way. When people say that, I'm like, good for you, because I'm tired of shit. I'm ready for this to be out.
right.
So yeah, it's been it was a grind, and it took a while, but I'm excited and happy with how it came out.
Because like I have a bad habit of like recording things like episodes like this, and then like
Yeah.
something comes up, or I hate to say it this way, but like a bigger name will come up or out of nowhere, and like they have to go first and all this shit because it's on a timetable, and it's
Right.
like you think about it and you're
Right.
like, shit, that episode was actually better than the one that needed to come out, and
Yeah.
it gets crazy.
Yeah.
Now, with the songs that, and I say that because the
Totally.
songs that didn't come out or be put on this album, looking back, are you kind of wishing they would have?
No, it felt like it was right, and that I know the ones that are going to be on the next one, because they make more sense in another
Okay.
project with these other songs. So no, I mean, at the end of the day, I still have them, and they can always come out. So that's a blessing. But if it was like, yeah, I feel like it didn't make sense, the ones that I'm talking about on this one, but it will go on another one. So and it's good to have that. I'm excited.
Yeah.
It's not like we're out of songs now, which
Right.
so that's a blessing. Yeah.
So are you gonna do that? Are you not doing the whole every 6 weeks thing like a lot of people are doing? Are you just, you're releasing everything as an album or an EP?
Yeah, so the game plan now, I mean, obviously you're going to let the album marinate and put it out on socials, but then no, I love dropping singles. My first like 45 songs were single drops. So that's why it was so cool to have a project and all in one. But no, I'll roll out singles, and then we'll definitely plan on doing a project next year as well
Nice.
that we're already kind of working on. And I'm going to Nashville, like I said, in a few days to write for it. So I'm excited for that. But no, I like putting out a lot of music. I feel like with the people that I listen to, I'm never going to be like, oh, damn, they're just dropping too much music. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, if I am a fan of this person, I
Yeah.
want them to drop as many times as possible.
Right.
So that's how I like it. If I hope my fans, I would hope they're not pissed at it, but I'd be like, I want to put out a lot of music. So
Right.
2026, it's going to be a shit ton of music, like a lot. So I'm
Right.
excited for that.
I'm with you, because it's like when I have artists that I really like and stuff and they put out something, it's like, okay, this is great, wonderful, but it's like, it's very quick where it's like, what's the next thing? And I think a lot of that is our attention
Right.
span, but like even as a fan of
Yep.
something, it's like you just want more.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never been mad at Morgan or at whoever my favorite artist dropping music. Just
Right.
like, okay, and even if I don't like it, I'm like, okay, fine, that's great. I just won't listen to that one. But there's gonna be something I do like. So
Right.
I've never understood. People have their own ways of doing it, and I don't have any say in why they should or shouldn't. But when people are like dropping a song a year or something, or whatever the case may be, I'm like, dog, I
Right.
love your voice. I want to hear more of you.
Right. Right.
That's just how I think. So
Right.
yeah, that's how I am.
You could sing me the phone book. Just put it out.
Just let me hear it.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Right. Right. So now with all
So
this
yeah,
and all the success you've had and all the things you're going, like where pick yourself up this time next year. Where do you hope to be?
yeah. I hope by this time next year that we are doing headlining shows. My goal this whole early 2026 is to get on the road as much as possible. Whether that's headlining or whether that's opening up for people, we're going on the road with George Burge. We're doing something in Germany, and then hopefully some other stuff down the line. So really, just getting in front of as many people as possible and
Yeah.
trying to build like an organic fan base to where like I want you to know that I care. And the next time that I come back, which at the end of the year, which would be now, November, whatever it is, hopefully you're coming to watch me headline if that's the
Yeah.
case. And if not, hopefully I'm opening up for very large artists to where that means something's going right. So
Yeah.
that's my goal. And then to just put out a lot of music. I hope by this time next year, you're like, yo, Banfield dropped a lot of music this year. So I would say that, and then playing big shows. That would be my goal, and manifestation. I believe in it. So I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, man. Like I said at the beginning of this, like your sound isn't one that I would go searching for, but I'm honest to God so glad I found it.
Thank you so much.
So
That means the world because I think I get exactly what you're saying.
I,
Literally.
like like there's a lot there's a lot of there's a lot of artists, a lot of sounds under this country music umbrella that there's days where I'm like, that's not country. And then there's days where I'm like, that's exactly what country music is. And so
Sure.
it's like, I have this inner battle with myself all the time,
Sure.
because I like bands like, or artists like you and like Lakeview. And, I have a
Yep.
soft spot in my heart for Morgan Wallen, as much as I love to give him shit, and all these
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
like non-traditional country acts that,
Sure.
to me, at the end of the day, what makes a song country is the lyrics. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm awful with song titles, like terrible. Like I hear a song and I'm like, I like that one, and
No, me
and
too.
and don't think to
Yeah.
look at the song title, but the one you were talking about earlier, I can't even remember. Like this is how bad the ADHD is.
Lasso.
Nope, the other one. Oh, what the fuck was it?
What was I? So
The
I don't remember
first
which
the
one I
first
said.
one you put out that got the viral.
Oh, hold me.
Yes, thank you.
I
Thank
don't
you.
remember it. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Right. Literally, I'm like squirrel. It's fine. But there's been times where I've heard that song and had to shut it off because I just couldn't.
No, 100%. No, and that's real. That's
Yeah.
like, that's just, I'm kind of the same way. Sometimes I
Yeah.
just can't listen to it. It's just how it is. And I love it for that reason. It's always there,
Yeah.
for when you do need it. So yeah, no, it's music's medicine. It's amazing. So
It
thank you
is.
for saying that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, thank you for doing what you're doing, man. And I honestly, I can't. You know, I I'm like I said, I'm glad I found you. This sounds so wrong, but like
Thank you.
I'm glad I found your music, man.
Thank you so much. That means a lot. That means a
Yeah.
lot. We'll have a lot more out. So I'm excited
Yeah.
you're here and listening. That means a lot.
So for everybody that's listening who may know you, may not know you, like how can we continue to follow the train that is moving obviously quite quickly?
Yeah, I'm pretty easy to find. I'm like on Instagram is where I post most of my stuff, and it's Jake Banfield Music. But with that, there's Spotify, Apple, all streaming platforms is Jake Banfield, and TikTok is Jake. You just type in my name, and it should pop up. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of stuff on the way. Like I have a lot on the way. So hopefully you can check it out and it won't be boring because I'm going to try to keep it entertaining. And we have a very busy start to the 2026. So I'm excited for it. And it's going to be a good time.
Well, man, I can't wait for it. So I can't. I can only imagine what everybody else is going
Thank
to
you.
think. So, thanks for coming on.
Thank
Your
you.
time is not you know lost on me, and I appreciate it.
Like, likewise. Thank you for having me.
And next time you're up in this New England, Boston area, dude, let me know, and we'll come out and have a drink and shoot the shit in real life.
I'm in.
All right, man.
I'm in, brother. I'm in. Sounds
All right.
good.
Yeah, man. Well, good luck with everything, and have a great holiday season. I can't believe I'm
Cool.
already saying that, but we'll chat soon.
I know. Thank you, brother.
All right, buddy.
Sounds good. Thanks,
See
man.
you. You're welcome.
See you, brother. Bye bye.
Well, there you have it, everybody. Our conversation with Jake. I hope you enjoyed it. We hope you enjoyed it. I'm sure Jake hopes you enjoyed it too. You know, it, I was kind of going back and watch. That's bullshit. I didn't watch back the episode. But I'm remembering the conversation, right? And we need more people in music like this, right? We need more people that have, a youthfulness to it, an excitement. You know, Jake wanted to play basketball, right? Or, and do that. And then injury sidelines him and he still makes something of himself, right? This is a story that we all can kind of or should relate to, or maybe not relate to, but like aspire to be, right? Life throws us shit, right? All the time. And it's one of those things where not enough of us, and I'm included in this. Like, I don't think I'm just preaching because I'm not a preacher. God knows that's the truth. But like, we get shit thrown at us and we let it knock us down. We let it drag us down. We let it keep us down, right? And this kid just was like, you know, he got knocked down and he got up again. I can't believe I just said that. But yeah, like that, and like that's the thing, man. Like that's inspiring, and it's like I'm pushing 40. I know it doesn't look it, right? But I'm pushing 40, and like if I wish I had half the tenacity this kid does, especially in my 20s. You know, God, this kid has got it. You know what? And his music's great. He's great. Great team behind him. This kid's going places. Do not sleep on this kid. He's Jake's got it going on, and he's got a great mindset, great attitude, and it's something we should all kind of aspire to be. I think that's my 2 cents. And you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, the way I just did all that, I think we're gonna do that going forward with the rest of the episodes, where we're gonna kind of like have like I don't know how old you are watching this, but like, remember at the end of Jerry Springer when Jerry would have his Jerry thoughts? We're gonna do that. Let's do that. We're gonna do Jim's thoughts about the episode, even though I give them to you anyway. Huh? Why not? Hell of an idea. Maybe we'll start that. You know what? Fuck it. We're not gonna be like, oh, we're gonna start that next year. No, we're gonna start that right now today. So thank you for being here, Jake. You're the man, dude. Keep staying positive and kicking ass, brother. You deserve all of the good things that are coming your way, man. I really really mean that. Um, so yeah. So again, like I said, if it's your first time here, welcome. Hopefully you come back next week for another episode. We have Savant next week from Ghost Hounds. Um, they're going to be in Boston next Friday night, so we're kind of doing a thing there. Excuse me. And yeah, so thanks for being here, and we'll see you next Wednesday, guys. Cheers.